It is a quick recap of Game 2. Hikaru Nakamura drew against Rapport and qualifies for the final against Aronian on Tuesday next week. Here, first surprise, knight c6 played. That's not the most common. In a King's Indian attack, c5 the main move, then e4 followed by rook e1 and eventually h4 and knight f1. This is all well known. But here, knight c6. So the normal move for white would be to play e4, but Rapport did not play that because Hikaru would most likely exchange, play e5. The best move here is knight c5 attacking e5, but then you would trade a lot of pieces and pawn in the center like that. So this is a game between Giri with white and Aronian, and that game ended in a draw. So it would be perfectly fine for Hikaru to draw this game. Therefore here, instead of the normal e4, Rapport goes for d4 here. Now Hikaru takes the e4 square, and here f5 solidifies the knight on e4. Game continued, and it's worth to mention that Rapport had played in 2019 this position, but here Hikaru improves on the play. And here he develops the last piece, his bishop on c8, and he goes to a6. And that's very strong with cy. So here the best move for white was to exchange on e5. But white did not play that because that exchanges a lot of pieces. However, eventually, the bishop on g2 and bishop on c1, the bishop pair versus knight and bishop. And maybe white can start with a4 and try to play for a win here. That would be the way to go. But here, Rapport plays bishop h3, attacking f5. White is trying to keep as many pieces on the board because white needs a win, while black only needs to draw to advance. And here, bishop take, excellent move, and queen d7. Hikaru gave up his bishop, and white has a bishop pair. But as you can see, the bishop on c1 over here doesn't have anywhere to go. And that knight here more than compensates for the bishop pair. That knight is very hard to get rid of, and that is a strength in a position. And also, keep in mind that black has a strong grip on the center. So the game continued. And here, critical moment, queen h6 played. So you may think, well, black is dropping a pawn. But if white were to take, knight f2, sack. And here, queen h2 with at least a draw and maybe more. So in this position, bishop g2 played, queen f6. And again, that knight coming to c4. That knight here on e4 is very strong. If white would take, you would take like that. So it's very hard for white to play this position. Now, critical, Hikaru decides to get rid of his bishop. Now, why is that? If you play like that, you could first of all play knight b3, attacking and exchanging the bishop on c1, or even knight c4, and let's say on a move like that, you have complete control in the center. So here, Rapport tried cd4, but c5, excellent move, trying to put pressure here. You can have c4 and knight b3, so there was taken here, queen c6, and Hikaru trying to invade. So you can see with the two knights are not inferior to the two bishops. And typically we learn that bishop pair is an advantage, but in this case, I'm not so sure it was. And then the game continued, and what can you do against these two knights? They have wonderful outposts on e4 and c4, cannot be traded easily and control the board. Rook c8, and I think the c5 belongs to black. a6 played, because on a5 you would play b5, consolidating the position. So eventually here we have a key position on move 30th, and here Hikaru played another strong move. His knights are good, his rooks are well positioned, the queen is well placed here. So what else can you do? The answer, g5. And with that, more control on the king side, g4, queen g6, maybe h4, knight g5, and black is starting an attack against the king. There's no weakness in black camp. This pawn is controlled by the knight, so white cannot win it. a5, you get b5. So no matter what one tries, if you try f3, then the knight retreats and e3 is gonna form. So no matter what you try, I think that black is under control and Rapport conceded the draw and losing the match. So again, this g5 stuff, very strong here with the idea to lock down the position with g4, queen g6, and Hikaru dominated this match. Now the final, Aronian against Nakamura. These are the two strongest players, two American players playing on Tuesday for the final victory in a tournament. Thank you for watching.